Welcome back everyone to No Deflection Gaming, and today we're looking at Shadow Visions, one of probably the easiest layers you'll ever do in your entire life. So let me just give you the general gist of this. So remember that time you're beating up on Gideon and then he, ghosted you basically, left you hanging, didn't pay for dinner, nothing like that? Now's your chance to get back at him and beat his ass up. So this is going to be a general quick layer for this guy. So probably, like I said before, the easiest layer you'll ever do. What's going to happen is Gideon, once you have everyone in the arena, you can have somebody just start the arena by just attacking him. And what's going to happen is he's going to spawn crystals around his body. You do not need to do any damage to him in the beginning. I'm just doing this to get my rage up a little bit. Same thing with mages, you can get your stacks up. You're not going to really do much damage on him in the beginning. Once the crystals pop, which you'll see they pop around him in a circular position, all of your teammates are going to focus on one crystal to begin with. When that crystal breaks, you're going to grab the black little, let's call them fuses that pop off the crystals. So right here, he pops all the crystals. Now this is where you guys all beast out on one specific crystal. Make sure you knock it out. And then once that blows up, you'll see little black fuses pop up on the ground. You're going to grab these, and then what it's going to give you is going to give you stacks for attack, basically. Now with these stacks, it increases your damage tenfold. So now I have one, I think I grabbed one more stack here. Maybe I just grabbed one in general, but so I have one stack. So my attack basically doubled already off that one stack. Now what you're going to do is you're probably going to do this maybe 2 or 3 phases. He'll do the same thing. He'll do this little explosion out, do some damage to you guys. Heal up if you need to. You shouldn't have to for the most part. And then he'll just do some random attacks here and there. Don't really worry about any of them. None of them are going to do a lot of damage to you. Once he pops crystals again, if you don't have enough stacks, you guys can all focus on one crystal again. Or if you have the attack and you're able to, you can focus on your own crystals, which is what you're going to see here. We're going to focus on our own crystals, and then we're going to basically try to blow up all the crystals as much as possible, allowing all the black fuses to drop, and as they drop, you want to pick them up. Try not to leave any hanging out, because he will grab them, and that will increase his attack and defense as well. So here we go, he pops his next round of crystals, and we're going to go in there and bash up on this crystal ourselves. And then once this pops, we're going to grab some of the black fuses, and then move on to the next crystal and beat the hell out of that one. Your objective here is just to break as many crystals as possible, getting as many stacks as possible. So you're going to see as I pick these up, as you're going to see that little sword down to the bottom right, I'm gaining stacks as I pick up these black fuses. The more the merrier. I would suggest having at least, out of the 5 guys in the group, 3 or 4 people should have at least around 15, 20 at a minimum, and that's when you're going to go into your DPS phase with him. Now what's going to happen is once you guys get your stacks, like 15, 20, 25, I've seen people get up to 30, 35 before, which is crazy. Once you guys get those stacks all situated on yourselves, you're going to want to go into a DPS phase, which you're going to do a lot more damage to him. You're going to go in there and beat up on him. Once he hits 80%, he's going to go into his, let's call it his DPS phase, or his stagnant phase almost. He's going to go to the center of the arena, he's going to put a staff up, and he's going to call down his little minions. While he's calling down his minions, this is when you beat up on him as much as possible. Basically, he stays in the same phase because you're doing so much damage to him. Then it basically makes him go from phase into phase into phase until he dies. So once you get your, let's call it 3 rounds in or 2 rounds in, depending on how many crystals you're able to break, and you have between 20, 25, at a minimum, I would say at least 15 stacks, then you go in and beat up on him. One thing to note, be wary, if someone does die on your team, he will gain all of their stacks, which will make him incredibly strong. I would say if somebody does die, you might even need to wipe, depending on how far you're into the layer itself. So just be wary of that. Okay, so here's our next round. And as you can see, I'm doing a lot more damage. 351,000, 533,000. It's crazy the amount of damage you could do with the stacks I have. So, I mean, every class is going to get an awesome damage boost out of this. This is a lot of fun. I would say why this is the easiest layer is because it just, as long as you coordinate correctly and you just break the crystals, you won't have any trouble whatsoever. Right now, I'm just hanging around waiting for these to drop. There you go. You have a mage who dropped a meteor, broken all the crystals, getting even more stacks. Okay, now that we have all these stacks, this is when you guys just go into a DPS phase. Basically, just beat the crap out of him. He won't drop any more crystals as long as you get him down past 80%. Like I said, he's just going to do his stagnant phase where he just has his staff up in the air. And then as the staff's up in the air, you're just going to beat up on him. Also want to give a nice little shout out to my guildies in this one. We got Ivanka and Phoenix running with us for this one. Ivanka, fantastic mage. Even though I think mages are poo-poo sometimes, he's a fantastic mage. And then you got Phoenix, the ranger over there, kicking some ass. So now we're just going to DPS him, and as you'll see, he's doing regular attacks, but once he goes into 80%, he'll pop back to the middle, as you see there. And this is when he starts doing his, we'll call it stagnant phase, where he just stands there and basically does nothing for the longest time. And this is where you get to see your awesome damage numbers pop in. So you'll see millions upon millions upon millions of damage. So that's basically it, guys, for this video. You're going to see him just die, basically. So once again, I appreciate you watching these videos. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button. If you like what you see, hit the like, do all the things. Check out the Patreon for some sick merch. And once again, thank you all, and peace out.